to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Monday, May the 26th. I am your host, Mike Oliva, on this Memorial Day, a day where we thank everyone who has served this country, those who are with us, those who are no longer with us. We thank them for their service. We actually have a lot to talk about today here regarding the Miami Dolphins. There's a Jalen Ramsey rumor out there that may or may not have some legs, but we're going to dive into it. Tyreek is putting up some social media posts where he's saying a few things we're going to talk about. And there's a player that we really haven't talked about this offseason. And I'm wondering if the Miami Dolphins should bring him back. But before we get into any of the news today, first off, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, smash that like button right now. Take a second right now. Let's get it out of the way. Smash it. You can just sit back and watch and enjoy the rest of the show. Just smash that like button. Also, I want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Caneswear. Everyone go to the website caneswear.com for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel that you will find anywhere on the internet. If you're in South Florida, feel free to stop by their store at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida, because Caneswear has it all. If you need a Miami Dolphins t-shirt, hoodie, jacket, jersey, shorts, socks, anything with the Miami Dolphins logo on it, caneswear.com is the place to go. And they also have stuff for the soon-to-be in the Stanley Cup Finals Florida Panthers. I don't want to jinx them, but it's looking that way. They have stuff for the Miami Heat, the Miami Marlins, of course, the Miami Hurricanes, and other college teams in the state of Florida as well. But if you're a fan of the Dolphins and you need Miami Dolphins gear, there's only one website to go to, and that's caneswear.com. Also, if you haven't signed up for Dolphins Talk Extra, what the heck are you waiting for? Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk, $3 a month. And we have bonus podcasts about the Dolphins, a private message board. We give away Miami Dolphins autograph, Miami Dolphins apparel, tons of prizes, and so much extra content. Dolphins Talk Extra, patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. All right. Jalen Ramsey has bought a house in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And many are reading into this saying, well, maybe he was given a heads up here as we approach June 1st in a few days that he will be traded to the Dallas Cowboys. There's a report from CowboysCountry.com that Ramsey bought a house in Dallas-Fort Worth recently. And that's what many are speculating. And maybe he was given a heads up. Look, we have a trade worked out with the Cowboys, and we're going to send you there after June 1st. And that could very well be true. But there's also the flip side to this. Maybe Ramsey, he bought the house for a family member. Maybe he bought the house for someone else in his family or a friend. Or maybe he bought the house for himself as that's where he wants to live in the offseason. So I don't want to say because, A leads to B. He bought a house in Dallas. He's getting traded to the Cowboys. I mean, it could be the case. It might be the case. But I don't think I want to make that leap just yet here. There was a report, though, from Jeremy Fowler of ESPN last week saying that that a lot of teams have shown interest in Ramsey, but the three he's hearing the most of are the Rams, the Cowboys, and the Washington Commanders. It's worth noting that the website Cowboys Country is kind of pushing back on this report, saying they don't see Ramsey being traded to the Cowboys. But again, who knows if that's true or not. I will say this, though. You look at what the Cowboys have, and they got picks, and they're going to have a lot of picks in that range of which Miami's going to be looking for. Heading into next year, the Cowboys are expected to get 2 fifth-round compensatory picks, which would give the Cowboys, I'm not counting picks in round 1 and 2 because Miami's not getting that. And the Cowboys already traded away their third-round pick for George Pickens. But the Cowboys have a pick in round 4. After the compensatory picks, they're going to have 3 picks in round 5, and they will also have 2 picks in round 6. So if you're the Dolphins, what have we said? What's realistic getting back for Ramsey? You're looking at picks in round 5. Now look, those 2 compensatory picks cannot be traded yet, but the Cowboys can trade their own, and maybe they give up a 5th and a 6th. Maybe they give up a 4th and a 5th. Maybe they give up a 4th and a 6th, and then they hold on to all their picks in round 5. So the point is they have picks in that middle round area that they can part with to acquire Jalen Ramsey. Now, it might not even take multiple picks. It might just take 1 pick in round 5 or 1 pick in round 6. Again, Miami's making this trade to move on from Ramsey. They are not going to get back equal compensation. They just aren't. If they can get a 4th, man, Chris Grier did a hell of a job. If he can get a 4th in return for Ramsey, Chris Grier did a hell of a job. I think realistically, you're looking at a 5th, but we'll see. And we'll see about this rumor. And as I said on the show late last week, I know June 1st is like the magical date. And could he be traded exactly on June 1st? Of course he could. Anything could happen. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. But I have a feeling in my gut that this might go into mid-June, late June, even into July. Because if there's a couple teams interested in Ramsey, not that there's going to be like a war over him, because we're talking about picks in round 5 and 6 and such, round 4 tops. Miami might try to let these teams fight it out and try to get the most in return. But here's why a trade might happen sometime in early June. We know that the Miami Dolphins are interested in guys like Asante Samuel. They're interested in guys like Rasul Douglas and probably some other guys too, maybe at other positions. They might want the cap space. They might want the cap space to open up with Ramsey gone to make a move there, and they might not want to wait till late June or something. So again, just taking a guess right now on Monday, May 26th, I think Ramsey's gone no later than June 10th or 12th. Somewhere 10th, 11th, 12th, that range. I think that's probably the last part he gets traded. If it drags out past that, I wouldn't be shocked. As I said, I wouldn't be shocked at all. But if I had to guess today, if I had to bet a buck, I think, June 10th, 11th, 12th, somewhere between June 1st and that range, the first 2 weeks of June, I think he'll be moved. And I'm thinking Rams or probably Cowboys at this point. Some other team might jump in. If a team like the Ravens jumped in, would not be shocked in the least. Washington, I know, has been floated out there. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm thinking Rams or Cowboys kind of make the most sense. But again, who knows? There might be a team out there that's flying so far under the radar, no one's talking about them at all. So that's the latest with Jalen Ramsey. Tyreek Hill. Anytime Tyreek Hill puts out content on social media, you better pay attention, because it could be just, shameless self-promotion of like a store or of a product he's trying to sell, which is fine. Or it could go like really bad, really the wrong way. This wasn't either one, though. This was kind of like middle of the road. He said a few things in these videos where it looks like he was at a high school working out with somebody. I will say this, in the videos, his right hand wrist area is wearing a huge brace. Well, huge, I call it huge, but it's a pretty big brace. So clearly, and it looked like, or at least on the videos that were released, this was just working on footwork and conditioning and stuff like that. It did not look like he was catching any passes, which we know the Miami Dolphins said after the surgery, he wouldn't be catching any passes until training camp late July, first part of August. Now that's obviously with them and OTAs and mini camps and stuff. But in these videos, it did not look like there was a football to be seen. Now maybe it was hidden out of the way, I don't know, but it did look like he was just working on footwork stuff and conditioning. So there's 2 videos here worth noting. One video, Tyreek said, and I'm quoting, This year's we're in the lab. We wasn't in the lab how we supposed to be last year. I'm a keep it a stack with y'all. I effed up. So that's Tyreek showing some accountability, saying, he didn't work and he didn't put in the work as hard as he should have last year. Hence, he had a disappointing 2024. And I mean, you don't need to be Scooby-Doo to know, just watch the games. Tyreek had a disappointing 2024. People can point to the quarterbacks, this, that, and the other excuses. He played bad last year. And he's saying here in this video, he didn't put in the work off the field and to prepare. And now he's saying he's saying I effed up, and he's in the lab. He's in the lab working. Second video, and this one is probably going to get people in their feelings one way or another. Tyreek said, I need 2K this year. He's that he'll be at OTAs locked in this year. If him and Tua get locked back in, it's a wrap. So Tyreek is back to chasing 2,000 yards in the season, getting that milestone, getting that NFL record that no receiver has ever gotten, having 2,000 receiving yards in the season. To which, here's my take on it. It's not bad to have a personal goal, something to strive for, something to aim for. I don't mind that per se, but I don't want to be back where we were in 2023, where we were just force feeding Tyreek the ball, whether it was in the team's best interest or not, whether it was in the offense's best interest or not, whether the situation in the game it called for that or not. I don't want this to be the Tyreek Hill show where we're just force feeding him the ball no matter what, so he can get his 2K, so he can sit there and jump up and down and celebrate and be back on the NFL top 100, be ranked number 1 or number 2 again. That's what this season cannot be. This team with Tua at quarterback, with Mike McDaniel at head coach, has underachieved. And I know some fans aren't going to like that statement. Well, we made the playoffs a couple years. With this much talent, making the playoffs isn't the goal. It's winning the AFC East or winning playoff games. And I don't want to be in a situation to where, Tyreek gets his 2,000 yards, the quarterback throws for all these yards, and they both make the Pro Bowl, but we don't win a playoff game or we miss the playoffs. And then people are going to say, yeah, but look at the offense. It was great this year. Yeah, but we still lost. This needs to be about the team. The team. It doesn't need to be about Tyreek Hill's 2K. If Tyreek Hill catches for 2,000 yards and the team wins and it wins the AFC East and it wins playoff games, great. That's what everyone wants. It wants the team to win and it wants the players to have big seasons along the way. But this cannot be like it was in 2023, where Tyreek Hill openly said he wanted to catch for 2,000 yards. He was kind of on his way until that Titans game on Monday night where he was hurt. If he did not get hurt in that game, he probably would have had it, honestly, but is what it is. So, again, I don't want to knock a player for having a goal, but it's like been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Just don't want to go down that ride. Just don't want to take that ride again. It's got to be about complementary football, running the football, being smart with the football, keeping your quarterback healthy, getting big plays down the field, winning games. Let me stress, winning games, not about getting one player 2,000 yards to feed his ego. That's what it cannot be about. All right, before we get to the last topic, quick shout out to everyone listening at finheaven.com. Everyone go to finheaven.com, largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. Also, a shout out to our friends at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page, run by the great and talented Carlos Hernandez. Everyone, if you're on Facebook, please be sure you are a part of the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. And wherever you're listening to this podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Podchaser, iHeartRadio, YouTube, or one of the other hundreds of platforms you listen to this podcast, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to have shows no less than 3 a week to hold you here through the offseason. Some weeks we'll have more. I'm working on some more interviews. We obviously had Zach Thomas a couple weeks ago. Got a couple more lined up here in the coming weeks. So be on the lookout for that. Also, if you have experience hosting a podcast and you want to join our team, email me at DolphinsTalk1977@gmail.com. I'm looking to add another host to do some work with us here on our podcast network. I can't take people who've never done it before. I need experienced people. We've become too big to be sort of mom and pop, fly by the seat of our pants. I need an experienced person. So email me again at DolphinsTalk1977@gmail.com if you are interested in hosting 1 or 2 podcasts this season once we get to the season. All right. Last topic. There's been a lot of talk about who's Miami looking at with the free agent corners. Should they be looking at free agent safeties? And there was a report today that free agent safety Justin Simmons is talking with a couple teams, not Miami. I don't think Miami's going to sign a safety, which kind of stinks. I hope I'm wrong. But there's been a lot of chatter about that. There was even a rumor that Miami might have interest in free agent offensive tackle Jedrick Wills from the Browns. Here's the deal. There's a name out there that I'm wondering if the Dolphins are going to bring back as we get more into the summer months, closer to training camp, maybe mid-July, late July. And that name is Isaiah Wynn. Now, I'm one of these people who, when I looked at this offensive line the past 2 seasons, or especially last year, let's just go with last year, blow it up and start over. Armstead, for as great as he is, always hurt, can't depend on him week to week. Outside of Austin Jackson, because you can't move him, blow it up, start over. And that's what they've kind of done. Aaron Brewer's fine at center. Is he a great center? No, but he's serviceable. He's fine there. And I did not want to see Robert Jones back. He's gone. I did not want to see Lamb back, and he's gone. He signed with the Eagles, I believe. And I didn't want to see Liam back. Unfortunately, we're stuck with him. And Wynn also. I didn't see a need to bring him back. But and that was my thought process back in January, February, March, in the lead up to free agency and then also through the draft. Well, we went through free agency and we went through the draft, and now the team is what the team is. They're going to make a small move here, a small move there, but it's not going to be nothing drastic. And I look at this roster, and I'm not so sure if they brought back Wynn, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And the reason I say that is, you look at this Miami Dolphins depth chart with the offensive line, and it's kind of scary. Now, first off, the starters are scary. Patrick Paul, we have no idea if he's going to be any good. We have hope. We don't know. Austin Jackson is hurt all the time. I mean, is he going to give you more than 6 or 7 games? I have no idea. So you got Paul. You have a big question mark at left tackle. You got a question mark at right tackle because the guy's never hurt. You're going to start a rookie probably at right guard in Jonas Anavea. Again, we hope he's good. We hope. But he's a rookie. And then you got the other guard in James Daniels, who's coming off a major, major injury. So, again, we hope he's going to be 100% by week 1. I know what they say. I don't believe them. Sorry. But we hope. And then, of course, you have Aaron Brewer, who's a good center, not a great center. The second string is embarrassing. I mean, your swing tackle off the bench is Larry Borum, who was terrible with the Bears. Your backup center is Liam Eichenberg. Your backup guard is Liam Eichenberg. You got guys like Ryan Hayes and Keon Smith, who are, borderline NFL players. I think the Dolphins should sign Isaiah Wynn, because I think, here's why. If Liam Eichenberg's only role in this team is the backup center, I'll live with it at that point. But if something happens to Jonas Anavea, if something happens to James Daniels, I'd rather have Wynn to plug in at guard than Liam Eichenberg. And I don't care what Butch Barry said last week. If you heard my show last week where I just roasted Butch Barry with his comments over Liam, I don't care. Anyone with 2 eyes and an IQ over 4 can tell you Isaiah Wynn is a better football player than Liam Eichenberg. It's no battle of champions, okay? It's no battle of champions. I get it. At the end of the day, they both kind of stink. But I'll take Wynn every day of the week over Liam. So if I'm Miami, I don't know what they're going to do at corner. I'm sure they're going to sign 1 or 2. I don't know what they're going to do with some other positions. I might consider re-signing Wynn. Now, I wouldn't wanted this back in January, February, like I said, or March, but because they literally just signed, let's be honest, what they did with the offensive line. They signed an injury. They signed a guy who was hurt from Pittsburgh. They re-signed Liam, and then they traded some picks to move up to take Jonah. I don't know if that's really addressing, the pick of Jonah, I think will be okay in time. But again, he's a rookie this year. You have to take that for what it is. He's going to make rookie mistakes. There's going to be growing pains. That's just how it goes. And then James Daniels, James Daniels is a nice player. You know, some people talk about him like he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a nice player when he's healthy. Now he's come back from an injury, and Liam is like a worthless re-signing. This offensive line needs more depth. And it's, you know, well, they're out there trying to figure out what the hell they're going to do at cornerback, because that's a huge question. I really hope they do also look to bring in one more offensive lineman. And again, it's slim pickings. I know. If they want to bring in the guy from Cleveland and Jedrick, go for it. Go for it. But I think Wynn should also be in the list because Wynn can play inside. And I'm more worried. Well, I'm worried about all the depth. I am more worried about a rookie having troubles who might have to sit on the bench for like a week or two. And I'm more worried about James coming back from his injury, that we're going to probably have to play a second string guard before we play a second string tackle. Hence, I'd rather have Wynn right now. That's where my logic is, because the depth of that offensive line, that is bad. I mean, your second string offensive line is Ryan Hayes, Jackson Carman, Andrew Meyer, Liam Eichenberg, Larry Borum. That's ugly. And we know with the Dolphins, guys are going to get hurt. Because we're the Dolphins. That's what we do. Guys get hurt. So, yeah, I'd be okay with Miami re-signing Isaiah Wynn. I think it'd actually be a very smart move. All right, this show is a little bit shorter today. It's a holiday. It's Memorial Day. So, yeah, and plus there's not that much to talk about. I should have an interview here in a couple of days. I'm working on finalizing a day and time with the person, so be on the lookout for that. And like I said, most weeks no fewer than 3 shows, and some weeks probably more. So I want to thank everyone for listening. Follow us on social media at Dolphins Talk, whether it's Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere at Dolphins Talk. Check out the website, DolphinsTalk.com. We got a bunch of great new articles up you want to read. Check them out there. And again, wherever you're listening to this podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Everyone have a great Monday night. Have a great Tuesday. We'll talk to you again after a while. And folks, don't forget, we must put an end to highway profanity. Hey everyone, Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com. Real quick, I just want to give a thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, just want to say thank you for all the support you provide us here at DolphinsTalk.com and have over the many years. We thank you, thank you, thank you. It's much appreciated. Without you, there would be no us. I know there are so many other podcast options out there these days, whether it's true crime, the NBA, Major League Baseball, news, politics, and of course, other Miami Dolphins podcasts as well. We really do appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day, each and every day, to watch our stuff here at DolphinsTalk.com. Also, if you like this show and want more content from us, please be sure to sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. We have a private message board where you can interact with only extra members and ourselves here, the staff at the website. We have extra podcasts about the Dolphins and also extra podcasts not about the Miami Dolphins. And we give away a ton of prizes. We have a ton of contests that are exclusive to Dolphins Talk Extra members. We give away autographs, memorabilia, jerseys, hats, all that fun stuff. So everyone, please be sure to go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. It's $3 a month. It's really cheap. You'll have a lot of fun. Trust me. But once again, thank you so much. Everyone have a great day.